Some days after loss, the hardest questions to answer is not what happened. It's how are you? Because the truth is, sometimes you don't even know how to explain what you feel anymore. Can you relate? When I started out this journey a few years ago, and I go to work or meet people on the way to the grocery or wherever I go to, the park, the mall, the clinic, and people meant well by asking, how are you, because that's the norm. That's everyday greetings. Until the loss of my spouse, I didn't know how hard that question might be for someone else to answer. This is my personal experience, my life story. Guys, I didn't know how to answer because, you want to give us an honest response. How are you after loss? Feels so impossible to answer anymore. For the most part, when I go to work, my colleagues are asking how I am, how you are, how are you? I'm just lost. I don't know what to say. My tongue will just be glued to the bottom of my mouth cavity. Can you relate? Even up till now, some days when you ask me how are you, my brain just goes, actually, how are you, Jola? I will now be tracing myself to give honest response. And honestly, because people don't want to know how you are. Honestly, they don't want to know. So why answer anyway? I either just stay silent because I don't know how I am. Honestly, I don't know how I am. Sincerely, I don't know how I am. Honestly, I don't know how I am. For years, guys, I didn't know how to answer. Because this has been like a normal, everyday greetings that without even thinking, you will give a response, right? But after loss, it's not the same. Answering that question, that simple question after loss, is not the same. Guys, it's not the same. Your brain is like, really? How are you? Your brain is interpreting, how are you? Your brain is searching for response, and yet you don't have a response. And honestly, people don't want your honest answer. People are not ready for you telling them, do you want my honest answers? And you go, I'm not feeling my best today. They go, because there was a time when I just started the journey under 6 months. I remember somebody asked me the same question. How are you? And I said, I'm not feeling okay. What do you expect when you hear someone say, I'm not feeling okay, either to ask, oh, what's going on? You will expect that a person asking, how are you, and wanting the honest response to probably give a listening ears to your response and try to find out how, well, what's going on? Why did you say you are not your best? How can I help you? Being on this journey of widowhood now, that's what I would do. I wouldn't just walk past in a hurry someone who said they are not feeling their best. I wouldn't. Because life has dealt with me. And life has taught me that there are days when how are you, as simple as it may sound, as simple as it may be, can feel so impossible, guys. It can feel so impossible. People feel like it's been few years now and thought that question is still easy. I'm learning not to ask anybody. Either they're experiencing loss or not. I, as a person, I have learned from this that that question may not be a good question to ask anybody. Rather, the questions I ask now, starting with my own children, is, how are you feeling today? Angry? The answer may be angry, happy, blessed, whatever they choose to answer as they're feeling, because feeling can be named. It is easier than, how are you today? A widow is lost. A widow is caught off guard. A widow is caught off guard. A widow cannot answer that simple question. It feels so impossible for me. This morning at work, one of the people I take care of, I give medications to, asked, Shola, how are you? And honestly, I answered that I am doing well. And, not because I want to think about it, but a widow's mind would notice it. I noticed my response. And I said, wow, from not able to answer to now I said, I'm feeling well. Yes, that is the truth of a widow who has been navigating the loss of a spouse with 4 children. 4 children. Do you know what that is? For a parent who wants to be present while navigating the loss of her spouse herself and tuning into the emotions of each of those children. Because I love my children. I want to feel how they are feeling on top of my own feeling. That's tough. Yes, I have to go through each one of them daily. Excuse me, water. I have to set my priorities straight. I have to create that time for each one of them. So when you ask me, it's not that I don't know if you can relate. If anyone here can relate, if anyone watching this video can relate, please comment below. Let me know that I'm not alone. How are you? To many people who haven't experienced this, feels like, why is she so quiet? Why can't she answer? What is wrong with her? Nothing is wrong with me. Nothing is wrong with me. Nothing is wrong with me. Nothing is wrong with any widow. Then she lost her husband. a life partner who was supposed to be a life partner, and she doesn't know how to tell you how she's feeling. It's not bad if you take a step to find out what's going on. How can I help? Is there anything I can do to help? But guess what? This life, nobody wants to help you with your feelings. How are you this morning? I would not ask anybody. How are you feeling? But for those I really don't care about, that are not related in any way, maybe I can still tell them, how are you? Because I'm not expecting anything seriously from them. But for the ones I care about, how are you feeling? Maybe that is why everybody is saying, how are you? How are you? Maybe because in this new context, some of them too have gone through life and they will say, how are you? Just no conversation. How are you means no conservation. No. To me now, that's the way I see it. How are you means I don't care. How are you means I don't want to know. How are you means stay in your lane. But when you say, how are you feeling? Now I know you really care. Do you see life after loss? What is that done to me and many other widows out there? Do you now understand what widowhood has done to us? We are not sick upstairs. It is transformation. It is transformation. Our old life, we cannot fully live it anymore. This is a transforming life experience, bringing us to a place we don't even think we can be. I, as a person, that is what I'm experiencing. I didn't know that questions or greetings as simple as how are you can be something that I would not be able to answer at any stage of my life. And look at the way I'm understanding it now. How are you is what you say to anybody you don't really want to have conversation. You don't want to pause for them. Life has taught me, this experience has taught me that when you really care, when you really want to know, the question is not how are you, it is how are you feeling? Can you relate? Can you hear me right? The question is, how are you feeling? That way I can name my feeling. And when I name my feeling, you cannot fix it. You can only give your hug or say something like, how can I help you today? Have you eaten? Do you want a drink? Do you want some water? That's all you can do. Let me tell you, you cannot fix a widow. You cannot fix a widow. Most of the words we speak are just not helpful. They do more harm emotionally than you can imagine. I am not using this medium to beg you for money or anything, but to let you know that after loss, answering how are you may feel impossible. And to maybe your brother's wife or your mother or your sister-in-law or your sister or nephew or niece or anybody that is facing losses, facing similar experience, and they are not answering when you say, "How are you?" This will encourage you to know that it is not them ignoring you. Loss comes with truth. You don't want to hide anything. But when people aren't listening, when people don't really care, how would you answer? So today, I have shared with you this question that I was unable to answer for many years. And still, on some days now, I can't answer them still. On some days now, it's still like a puzzle, something that I dread a little bit. I just want to just go, come back, not even talk to nobody, not even relate with nobody. The hardest question to answer after a loss is, how are you? Maybe for my Yoruba people, they will say, Ṣàlàáfíà lẹ wà. How can a widow answer that question? I don't know how to word this in Yoruba, even though I speak good Yoruba. Ìyá Tolú, ìyá Tolú, báwo lèní ṣe rí o? Ṣó ní nǹkan tí mo lè ṣe láti ràn ẹ́ lọ́wọ́? Things like that. I don't know how to word it, but I think if it helps. But the truth is, sometimes you don't even know how to explain what you feel anymore. Yeah. Anybody going through this don't know how to express what they feel anymore. But I've told us today, instead of how are you, turn it to how are you feeling. That's where you help us to point to our feeling. And then you know you cannot fix us, but you can show kindness. You can show love. You can show empathy. If you can relate with this video today, kindly subscribe and comment. Thank you so much for coming back. Thank you for watching to the end. Share with anyone who needs to hear this. See you again later.